स्पाइसेस ऑफ लाइफ में आप सभी का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। साथियों, पिछली वीडियो में मैंने आपको भारत पाक के 1971 के युद्ध के 50 स्वर्णिम वर्ष पूरे होने पर विजय पर्व की कुछ झलकियां दिखाई थी और ये प्रॉमिस किया था कि विजय पर्व पर साउंड एंड लाइट शो जो हुआ था उसकी वन कट वीडियो भी दिखाऊंगी। तो लीजिए, इस वीडियो में अपना वादा पूरा करती हूँ और इस वीडियो में मैं आगे अब कुछ नहीं बोलूँगी, जिससे कि आप इस साउंड एंड लाइट शो का पूरा मजा ले सकें।
To every man upon this earth, death comes soon or late. And how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? Our soldiers fought tirelessly for the freedom and peace of people of Bangladesh. With the support of the enemy, our courageous and gallant warriors vanquished the enemy in the battlefield. On the occasion of 50th anniversary of historical victory in the War of 1971, the battle fought in water, land and air, let us remember the unflinching courage of our gallant warriors of Indian Armed Forces. I am the immortal soldier. To commemorate the 50 glorious years of the historical victory in the Indo-Pak War of 1971, I welcome you all fellow Indians and dignitaries of friendly foreign countries in the premises of National War Memorial. Till 16th December 1971, Pakistan was located both along the western and the eastern borders of India. Western Pakistan's government was enjoying all the power and authority. The Bengali Muslims and Hindus of eastern Pakistan were devoid any honor or respect from the West Pakistan army and authorities. They were discriminated and oppressed regularly. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, leader of Awami League, raised his voice against the dictatorship of the army of Western Pakistan. A political conflict began between the political leaders of East and West Pakistan. In the year 1970, Yahya Khan, the president of Pakistan, announced the general elections to pacify the Bengali people of East. Awami League won the elections with a majority under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But this victory was not acceptable to the rulers of Pakistan, and then the common Bengali people of East Pakistan had to bear its brunt. On 25th March 1971, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declared Bangladesh an independent nation. The flag of Bangladesh was hoisted on the top of the houses of East Pakistan. Consequently, in order to combat the resistance of the East and to take full control of entire Pakistan, the army of Western Pakistan, under the leadership of Lieutenant General Tikka Khan, launched Operation Searchlight. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was arrested. Under the leadership of Lieutenant General Tikka Khan, aka Butcher of Bengal, the Western Pakistan army killed thousands of people, raped the women, and looted many houses. Oppressed by the atrocities of Pakistan army, about 10 million people took refuge in India within 3 months. It was practically impossible to combat such an increasing number of refugees for the government of India, which was also affecting the Indian economy. It is now that Prime Minister Indira Gandhi took a stand to resolve the issue with a landmark decision of freedom of Bangladesh. In April 1971, Prime Minister called upon the Chief of Army Staff, General Manekshaw, for a meeting to discuss the possibility of war.
General, the circumstances in East Pakistan are deteriorating. Our army will have to enter Pakistan so that the people in East Pakistan can be saved from the atrocities of the army of West Pakistan.
Madam Prime Minister, this means to enter in war with Pakistan, but we are not yet ready for war.
But then, are we just supposed to keep watching the situation and do nothing?
Madam Prime Minister, we are aware of your concerns and we also want to bring an end to the atrocities of Western Pakistan army. But if we initiate the war now, then it would be very difficult to achieve a convincing victory.
What is the reason of your concern?
It will take almost a month for the preparation of war and our army to reach East Pakistan borders. By that time, the monsoons would set in, the rivers would be overflowing, which would restrict the movement of our army. Under such circumstances, if Pakistan attacks from west and China from north, we will be in a vulnerable state of pressing a three-front attack. Under such circumstances, I suggest to wait for 6 months and then launch the attack by November.
Okay, I see merit in that. Please, initiate your preparation.
Jai Hind, Madam Prime Minister. By the year 1971, the conflict between India and Pakistan was apparent. By this time, Mukti Ali had also increased aggressive strikes over West Pakistan forces. Planning of war had begun. Pakistan was planning to adopt defensive strategy in the east and simultaneously go on offensive along western borders with an aim to capture maximum Indian territory. The Indian armed forces had plans to launch aggressive strikes in the eastern front for the freedom of Bangladesh and to adopt the strategy of offensive defense along the western front to safeguard its borders. On 3rd December 1971, President of Pakistan, Vijay Parv, declared national emergency under Operation Changes Khan.
करीब 5:30 बजे शाम के 30 दिसंबर को पाकिस्तान ने हमारे ऊपर एक हमला किया। पाकिस्तानी हवाई जहाजों ने हमारे अमृतसर पठानकोट श्रीनगर अम्बाला और आगरे हवाई अड्डे पर डाली। मुझे जरा भी संदेह नहीं है मुझे भारत की जनता की भारत की बहादुर सेना की हो। जय हिंद।
The main center of the battle was the Eastern Front under the leadership of Lieutenant General Jamjit Singh Arora. The Indian strategy in the East was as bold as it was simple for the Eastern Command. The strategy adopted was a swift, three-pronged assault of 9 infantry divisions with armored regiments and close air support that rapidly converged on Dhaka. Controlling the Air Force operations in the East, Air Marshal Harichand Diwan was in command of the Eastern Air Command. The operation from the northwest, led by Lieutenant General M.L. Thapa, GOC 33 Corps of Indian Army, was to gain full control over Bogra and progress towards Pavna. GOC 2 Corps, Lieutenant General T.N. Rana, led the advance towards Kula while capturing and attacking Khuzdia, Jessore, Chalma from the west. The operations towards Dhaka while capturing Jabalpur to Sylhet through Ishania was led by Major General G.S. Gill, GOC 101 Communications Zone. The 4 Corps led by Lieutenant General Sagat Singh was to take control over Chittagong from southeast and after capturing Kandla, cross the Meghna River to pose a threat to Dhaka. Let me take you to the battlefield arena where some of the most adventurous and magnificent battles were fought, displaying best battle skills and tactics by the brave soldiers. Indian Army had created an initial pressure from eastern Pakistan by launching strikes from all the 4 directions. The history is replete with stories of valor and courage that the world witnessed during this war. Lance Nayak Albert Ikka of 14 Guards was part of the attack during the Battle of Hilli. Ignoring the fierce bombardments and firing, his company charged the enemy, during which Lance Nayak Albert Ikka realized that one of the light machine guns of the enemy was causing heavy damage to the enemy advance.
My fellow companions, this enemy on dead flank is not letting us move ahead. If they need to cover fire, and I will destroy them all.
Then with the war cry of and with total disregard for own safety, he charged the LMG bunker and netted 2 enemy soldiers and destroyed the bunker. He was wounded but continued to move forward with his fellow soldiers and kept attacking and destroying the bunkers one after the other. At the last point, a big machine gun firing from the second floor of a building was inflicting heavy casualties onto the attacking company. Lance Nayak Albert Ikka crawled towards the building under intense fire and threw a grenade. But the LMG firing did not stop. In a last-ditch effort, he turned the bunker and cleaved the enemies apart, yet again with his bayonet. As the LMG fire stopped, Ikka breathed his last and died so the nation for his extraordinary display of courage, valor, and bravery. Lance Nayak Albert Edgar was awarded the highest gallantry award, Paramveer Chakra, posthumously. Led by Air Chief Marshal P.C. Rao, the Indian Air Force flew around 500 circles every day and dominated the skies on both the eastern and western front. Under the stellar leadership Air Marshal Harichand Diva, the Indian Air Force wreaked havoc in East Pakistan and Indian fighters destroyed the Pakistan Air Force just on the second day of the battle. The air campaign of Indian Air Force helped in maintaining the fast pace of the ground operations of the Indian Army. Indian soldiers had to reach Arab Bazaar, which was across the river Meghna, but the Pakistan Army had demolished the bridge. General Sagat Singh with his Air Force advisor, Group Captain Chandran Singh, made the Indian soldiers cross the Meghna river with helicopters. At that time, there was no provision for night flight. Therefore, 80 torches or flashlights were kept in the shape of H and 1, 2, 3, so that it could help the pilots to fly at night. Meghna airlift had started late in the evening and continued throughout the night. Pilots didn't take any break for the whole night, and 650 troops were dropped across the Meghna river. In the next 36 hours, 409 sorties were flown, taking 5,000 soldiers and 51 tons of equipment across the Meghna river. This was also the first bigger heli-war operation of Indian Armed Forces. Pakistan forces posted there were totally discouraged and demoralized after this operation. Indian Navy had an important role to play in this battle fought in the East Pakistan. The ships of Indian naval forces were deployed in the Bay of Bengal to ensure that Western Pakistan could not reinforce the eastern side where the battle was being fought, totally annihilating the plans of Pakistani armed forces. The fighter jets of aircraft carrier Vikram carried out airstrikes over Chittagong, Jammu, and Morbi Bazaar, which broke the spine of the enemy. Tangail air drop was a last spike in the battle, which actually shattered the spirits and will of General A.A.K. Niazi, the commander of Pakistan Armed Forces in the East. On 11th December, two para-battalion led by Lieutenant Colonel Kulwant Singh Pannu started Tangail para-drop operation to capture Only Bridge over the river Yamuna in North Dhaka, which consequently stopped the remaining Pakistani Armed Forces. Using AN-12, C-119, two Caribous and Dakotas of 11 and 48 Squadron, a total of 700 paratroopers were para-dropped. These actions led to the capture of Tobi Dhaka Road, which further resulted in the Indian forces crossing Manikganj and Mirpur and knocking right at the gates of Dhaka. The forces kept building up, the grip tightened. By 14th and 15th December 1971, Rajpath, Nursing, and Vijay Parv were captured. Dhaka lay open for the fourth corps to capture through Nursing. Our last attack played havoc. Hunter and MiG-21 fighters of Indian Air Force attacked the residence of Governor of East Pakistan, and Malik, which compelled the governor to surrender. Ultimately, East Pakistan was liberated and Bangladesh achieved her freedom. The people of Bangladesh celebrated to welcome the Indian Armed Forces. Everyone was saluting the Indian soldiers with happiness and with a sense of pride. Now, I shall narrate to you the story of the battles of Western Front. The situation on the western border was not that rosy. The 11 divisions of Western Command under Lieutenant General K.B. Candid were extended from Jammu and Kashmir to Punjab and North Rajasthan. By the end of October, Western Command was all set to tackle any of the dubious intentions of Pakistan. Commanded by Lieutenant General G.G. Nehru, the forces of Southern Command were spread out in Rajasthan. The intention of Pakistan was to attack in Chandrajaya region. India chose to engage for part of its strike corps in the Chandrajaya sector. The story of Battle of Basanta is etched in golden letters in Indian military history. In this sector, the main directive for the Indian forces was to capture maximum territory after crossing the international borders and reached Sialkot. On 4th December 1971, the Alpha Company of 3 grenadiers of the Indian Army was given the task to capture Jalpal after establishing a bridgehead over the river Basantar. Commanded by Major Hoshiar Singh, the brave and courageous grenadiers captured Jalpal, but Pakistan couldn't digest this defeat. There were a series of fierce counterattacks. Our forces were able to stave off counterattacks by the enemy. Control of Jalpal had become a matter of dignity for both. The enemy attacked again on 17th December, this time with the support of heavy artillery fire. Major Hoshiar Singh was injured, but he kept moving in open from trench to trench to motivate his company, inspiring his men and bolstering their spirit. Right then, a shell landed on the MMG post and few of our soldiers got wounded. Witnessing this great loss, Major Hoshiar Singh roared,
My soldiers, they will have to pay for these deaths with their own dead bodies. I will turn this land into their graveyard.
Major Hoshiar Singh was bleeding, yet he entered the bunker and caught hold of the MMG, fired at the Pakistani commanding officer and many of the attacking troops. Major Hoshiar Singh was awarded for a Veer Chakra for exhibiting highest level of courage and valor. Yet another gallant story of the same Shakargarh sector. Equipped with T-55 tanks, 17 Puna horse was tasked to move ahead and clear the way. It was during this time that Second Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal, along with 8 tanks, got trapped in a mountain. Arun Khetrapal, fearless as ever, attacked them. He destroyed many of their tanks but was ultimately injured badly by the cavalry fire from the enemy. Still, he destroyed one more enemy tank. Then all of a sudden, heavy shelling by a Pakistani tank destroyed his tank. Martyr while serving the country. Second Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal was posthumously awarded the highest gallantry award of Armed Forces of India, Paramveer Chakra, for exhibiting courage, valor, and fearlessness on the battlefield. Battle of Basantar continued for 12 days, from 4th December to 16th December. Both the countries suffered severe losses in this battle, but India captured 1,000 square kilometers of Pakistan's territory with almost 500 villages. On 14th December 1971, 6 saber jets of the Pakistani Air Force attacked Srinagar airfield. Amidst heavy firing from Pakistani jets, Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Singhal successfully took to air with his Black fighter plane within 2 minutes. In the ensuing minute, Nirmaljeet Singh Singhal's voice cracked on the radio. A few moments later, Nirmaljeet Singh Singhal destroyed one Pakistani jet in front of him in the dogfight and blasted another flying next to him. While rest of the enemy fighters surrounded Nirmaljeet Singh Singhal. Seeing himself getting surrounded, he transmitted,
I think enemy is coming in his sight. It is from Pakistan.
Next stop.
Alpha 1, message over. Alpha 1. Okay, pass your message over. Alpha 1, one entire tank regiment of Pakistan. President Onwala Post over. Roger. That is why they are using artillery fire into the sky to deploy some moving tanks. You continue your service and slow down the enemy as much as possible by observing artillery fire. All stations Alpha. RCL gun atop tube shall engage enemy tanks on my orders. So, we have captured one soldier of Pakistan control. Tell me about your plan. We were told that we would have breakfast in Jaisalmer and lunch in Jodhpur, and by night we shall feast in Delhi. All stations Alpha, keep Jodhpur and Delhi. We will give them a taste of our Kadapasha. Jodhpur is
traditions of valor and courage, Major John and his alpha company successfully kept enemy at bay to the sunrise. When the first ray of the sun on the horizon, the Indian Air Force's hunters joined the battle. The roar of their engines could be heard across the skies and over the battlefield. While they reignite terror and destruction of the enemy, the targeted enemy, and within hours destroyed 22 tanks, immortalizing the battle of Rajpath. The synergy between the Indian Air Force and the Indian Army resulted in the destruction of 2,000 passengers, 46 tanks, and 500 vehicles. Major Kuldeep Singh Chandpur was awarded Mahavir Chakra for his gallant action and inspiring leadership in this battle. On the night of 5th December 1971, 10th Parachute Battalion, famously known as Desert Scorpion, executed a daring raid on Veer Vaha and Chachko, led by Lieutenant Colonel Bhavani Singh. The battalion wrote a glorious chapter of courage and tactical innovation by capturing large Pakistani land, keeping the enemy at bay for 4 days. Pakistan would have never dreamt that Indian Army would ever reach Chachko. The coordination between the 3 services of the Indian Armed Forces was exemplary. Enemy's best fighter jet, F-86, was no match for our hunters and knights. The Indian Air Force brought the enemy to their knees by attacking strategic targets such as Karachi Port Complex, the oil tankers, and sweet gas ports. The Indian Air Force dealt severe blows to the enemy by conducting reconnaissance missions over enemy airspace. In fact, they destroyed the entire Pakistani Air Force, giving the Indian Army and Navy full freedom to conduct operations. The Indian Navy fought the Indo-Pak War of 1971 under the splendid command of Admiral S.N. Nanda, the Chief of Naval Staff. The naval operation in the Eastern Front were led by Vice Admiral N. Krishna, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Eastern Naval Command, and in the Western Front by Admiral S.N. Kohli, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Western Naval Command. When the Indian Prime Minister made her historic announcement on the evening of 3rd December 1971, the Indian Navy already had its Western Fleet deployed in the North Arabian Sea. On the moonlit night of 3rd December 1971, 3 of the 4 missile boats, Nirka, Nipat, and Veer, and 2 Petya-class ships, Kachchap and Kirtan, proceeded towards Karachi. The Indian Navy's historic Operation Trident was underway. The missile boats were unleashed in the dark and secret Karachi at full speed and launched their missiles. The calm and serene darkness of the night was pierced by one fireball after another. Suddenly, the entire Karachi skyline was set ablaze. The Pakistanis were so shocked, they thought this was an air attack. The daring raid, the first of its kind, wreaked havoc on Pakistani morale and resulted in sinking of PNS Muhafiz, PNS Khyber, and merchant vessel PNS Challenger, when the Indian Navy followed Op Trident with Op Python on 8 December. Another daring raid on Karachi, damaging PNS Dhaka and setting ablaze the Gilani oil field. The war on the eastern seaboard commenced with a momentous feat, the sinking of the PNS Qasim, the Pakistanis' Navy formidable submarine, which had been sent to Bay of Bengal to hunt Vikram. Her sinking was a combination of superlative tactical and naval planners, a carefully laid net of deception, and close-coast anti-submarine warfare by INS Rajpath. 4th December onwards, continuous airstrikes by INS Vikrant's Seahawk fighters and Malaysian maritime reconnaissance aircraft resulted in a heavy bombardment of East Pakistani cities such as Chittagong, Cox's Bazar, Khurda, Chanda, and Mohra. In attack after attack, enemy infrastructure was damaged, fuel dumps were set ablaze, and Pakistani merchant shipping was sunk. In total, 57,000 tons of merchant shipping and Pakistani naval ships, Jessore, Kerala, and Sylhet were destroyed. The devastating firepower of Vikrant's aircraft and that of the Eastern Fleet ensured no reinforcements could reach the portal but were apprehended each time by the ever-vigilant Eastern Fleet. On the fateful day of 9th December, INS Kukri, while on an anti-submarine mission off the Saurashtra coast, was struck by a torpedo fired by PNS Hangor, taking down with her 18 officers and 176 men. The date of 16th December 1971 was made remarkable and unforgettable by the Indian Armed Forces in the global history. On this day, Pakistan forces had to face an embarrassing defeat. 93,000 Pakistani soldiers surrendered before the Indian Armed Forces. The world map was changed forever and a new nation, Bangladesh, was born on the world map. On the evening of 16th December at 4 p.m., the Chief of East Pakistan Forces Operations, Lieutenant General Amir Abdul Khan Niazi, was brought in front of thousands of Bangladeshis in the Dhaka racecourse. With the teary eyes, Lieutenant General Niazi took out his pistol tied on his waist and laid it down to the Indian Forces Chief of Eastern Pakistan Operations, Lieutenant General Jarjit Singh Arora. He signed the document of surrender in front of thousands of people and thus accepted Pakistan's defeat in the War of 1971. On the 50th anniversary of this glorious war, I would like to reminisce those more than 4,000 soldiers who graciously laid down their lives for the honor, dignity, and pride of their nation. Born on this soil, nurtured by the blood of my martyr brothers. Yes, I am a proud soldier of my country. Yes, I have engraved Vande Mataram on my chest. In the honor of tricolor, this country is my teacher. Future generations will preserve these immortal revolutionaries in their shadows, sown by the core ideal of sacrifice, dedication, penance, struggle, and bravery exhibits our unconditional love for our country. To protect is my duty, and the soil is my honor. Let me die. Let me be one with the motherland. This is where my heaven is. Chanda uncha rahe hamara. Vijay Vishwa Tiranga Prana. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory of 1971 and the immortal soldiers will always be there in our hearts. It's only my mortal body which is gone, but my soul will live forever around you. You can feel my presence every moment, everywhere. I am flowing in the water of rivers. I am there in the sound of ringing bells of temples and in the echoes of the azan. I am the smile on the faces of common people. You can hear me in the innocent laughter of children. I reach you all every day with the ray of the rising sun. I am growing with crops in the fields. I am waking you up every morning with the chirping sounds of the birds. Playing with the moonlight, I am there in your breath. I'm energizing your nerves. I salute our tricolor and your support. Because an immortal soldier never dies. Lives forever in your heart and minds, around you and with you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
along the Western Front to safeguard its borders. On 3rd December 1971, President of Pakistan, Yahya Khan, declared national emergency under Operation Changiz Khan.
करीब 5:30 बजे शाम के 3 दिसंबर को पाकिस्तान ने हमारे ऊपर एक हमला किया। पाकिस्तानी हवाई जहाज़ों ने हमारे अमृतसर पठानकोट श्रीनगर अम्बाला और आगरा हवाई अड्डे पर तबाही। मुझे गलत संदेह नहीं है कि विजय भारत की जनता की, भारत के बहादुर सेना की होगी। जय हिंद।
Thanks for watching Spices of Life.